Hello, everybody, and of course, welcome back to another great episode of X Talking. Is with your boy X.
And it's
You already know what to do. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you like and share this broadcast. And like I said, if you are on Facebook, please make sure you go ahead and like our Facebook page as well. And if you are on the YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. You hit that red button on YouTube to make sure you see shows like this in the future. And also hit that notification bell so you can be notified for shows like this one in the future.
ding.
Thank you for that, Ish. I saw you coming a little early. I read
I
you coming a
was,
little
I
early, come a little
was,
late. I see you, boy.
I
I see you.
was, man. I'm
All right,
on it.
then.
I'm
Yes,
on
sir.
it. I'm
Hey,
ready.
hey, it's playoff time,
Playoff
baby.
time,
It's
baby.
playoff time. Exactly.
Playoff
It's
time.
playoff time. Let's get it already. Then you already know what to do. If you are on Twitter, go ahead and check us out on the Periscope on Twitter. Alrighty. Then you know what it is. We are here to. We're not going to recap just yet what happened on Saturday, but we're going to preview the remaining games here on Sunday and also tomorrow night on Monday. Join us on Tuesday to recap all of the games Tuesday night here on X Talking Ish at 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. But we are here to talk about the remaining games that we have for the Sunday slate, and then also, of course, on Monday night, first ever wild card Monday night with the Cardinals versus the Rams. Ishmael, before we do get into the games, though, what we saw on Saturday with let's be real with the Raiders and the Bengals, because unfortunately that second game wasn't really too much of a game. Do you feel like it was a good way to kick off Wild Card Weekend?
Yeah, it was all right. It was okay. I think they definitely got the order of the games the right. I think it's the right order. I think that you open it up with a little appetizer with the Raiders and the Bengals. I think they were expecting a little bit more from the Patriots in that second game, and
Yeah,
it,
just a
it
tad.
just didn't work out that way. But then you got the games in the order that they are today, and then you finish with that third matchup of the season between the Rams and the Cardinals. So I think they got the order right. I liked having the Raiders as the first game, the Raiders and the Bengals, because I was excited about watching them. A young team in the Bengals and seeing whether or not they were going to respond, and clearly what happened. But yeah, I think it was good. I liked it. It was a good little kickoff to it. But that game last night, that kind of it killed the mood though.
No, it definitely did, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. That Raiders Bengals game, I think it was great for all sides. For Raider Nation, we knew Raider Nation was gonna follow their team. No matter where they play, they can play in on the moon. They're gonna follow Raider Nation, and to have the Bengals play at home. I mean, first time hosting a playoff game in a while now, and also first time winning a playoff game since 1991. Some people that's watching the show wasn't even born the last time that the Bengals won a playoff game. And for that to finally happen for not just the franchise, not just for Joey being the team, but also for the city of Cincinnati. I mean, it definitely is big because let's be real, ish. When it comes to certain cities, when it comes to sports, with them having such bad luck, it's draining on the city. It's draining on the people, and people just want to finally have the tides get turned. And maybe it is with Joey B at the helm for the Bengals. And at the moment, he's already surpassed Andy Dalton for playoff touchdowns as a Bengals. So in
Not
just one
hard.
game, hey,
Not hard.
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing out the facts. So shout out to Joey B, seriously though, for putting up a great performance yesterday. Again, we're gonna talk more about that on Tuesday when we do our recap show. Of course, shout out to my boy Randy Daniels with the greatest microbrews out there in the land. He says only 5 players on the Bengals team were alive the last time they won a playoff game. Yes, they were. This is very true. I definitely did hear them say that. I mean, that just goes to show you as well, too. We talk about this all the time, Ish. Being young sometimes is a pro and a con. Because when you are young, you don't give a damn about the past. You ain't worried about what happened with that. That's not our team. We have no ties with all that stuff. So you have an opportunity to remake what you want to make right now moving forward, and that's what the Bengals are doing. And again, shout out to them. So let's go ahead and get moving along with the first game of our Sunday slate. The Eagles versus the Buccaneers. Now this is a rematch of course, a game that happened early in the season with the Eagles and Buccaneers, where Buccaneers did win this game by 6 points. But if you are a casual fan, if you look into this game, you might feel like this is a game that the Buccaneers should managed pretty easily. But Ish, we talked about this before we got onto this show. This is a game the Bucks should win, but the Eagles are not going to just let them have it that easily.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that the Eagles are just going to lay down and give them this game. I think that's part of the Eagles. The whole persona of that team is a hard-working, fight kind of team. They represent the city the right way. I think that's what that team, their whole idea is like, hey, we got to represent Philly. And, if you know anything about Philly, that's the team. They're going to go out there and grind in Philly. So I expect this team to come out and do exactly that. I expect them to come out and really grind it out against the Bucks. I think that they're going to try to establish that run. They're going to help Jalen Hurts a little bit. I expect him to run a little bit more today as well, just to put the extra pressure on that defense, give them a little bit something to think about. And we'll see what they're able to do. But to me, I just don't have the faith in Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry. I don't have enough faith in Jalen Hurts to pick the Eagles today. I'm going to have to pick the Buccaneers because I think that in this matchup, the Buccaneers experience being at home and that defensive front seven is going to help them against this Eagles offense. The Eagles offense, they've been steady this year, especially on the road. They've been a lot better, 6-3 record on the road. But they're 12th in points scored, and that 12th is kind of misleading because they're so erratic when it comes to how they put points on the board, when they put points on the board. I think that has been the biggest inconsistency for them all season. And as a result, I just don't think today they're going to have enough to even go into a shootout with the Buccaneers, which I think it might end up being something of a shootout. I don't know that it's going to be this great defensive affair, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, let's check in on the comment section with our Eagles reporter, Christine Robichaux. She says rainy and windy today might play into the Eagles' hands with the run game. I looked at the weather at the moment. It's supposed to be 65 degrees in Tampa, and I don't know how much wind-wise is going to be there, but we'll see what happens. I think the wind would be more of a concern if this game was played in Philly compared to Tampa Bay, but again, we have to wait and see how that all plays out. Christine also says be on the lookout for how many Eagles fans are in Tampa.
Yeah, I think they're going to travel really well.
We'll see. That don't change the game, but
I definitely would be trying to get away from Philly right now.
That's very true. I agree. I ain't trying to be up there either in the snow and all that good stuff. But I will say this though, this game really is going to be determined on, and we talked about this before we got on this show, is can the Eagles run the ball? If the Eagles can run the ball and establish the run, because they have what's it called one more time? Let me excuse me. They are first in offensive rushing with almost 200 plus yards rushing per game. That's a great stat to have. Again, as a team, you rush for that much, so utilize the whole team to your full advantage to where we're not just running the ball up the middle like you're Derrick Henry for the Titans. No, let's run some reverses. Let's run some jet sweeps. Let's run some quick option routes to get Jalen Hurts and not just Jalen Hurts involved, but also keep the Tampa Bay defense guessing and on the back of their heels to where they don't know they know it's going to be run. They just don't know where it's coming from, right? So the misdirections, the counters, that's what the Eagles are going to have to do to not just win this game, but also tire them out in that first half. In the first half, I really want to see how many run plays are going to be out to the perimeter, because what I need the Eagles to do to upset the Buccaneers is you have to tire out this defense. You have to get them going left and right, left and right. You have to. And if I see Vita Vea out here running 25 yards to make a tackle, that is a good sign for the Eagles. So we talk about this as well, is if everything goes right, this game could be like this. But it doesn't happen all the time for certain games. We saw it last night with the Bills and the Patriots. So it really comes down to who's going to get punched in the mouth and who's going to react from it. So we know who Tom Brady is and that team is. That's a Super Bowl defending champ. So let's not even act like, we don't know if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a chance. No, it's the Eagles. The Eagles are the ones that need the chance to try to win this game. And it's on them of if they're gonna come in and say we don't care about Tom Brady. We know who that is. We're gonna go out there and play our own game.
Well, I mean, I like that you say it depends on who gets punched in the mouth, because I think the biggest thing about this whole run game thing that we're talking about, they're first in rushing, and yeah, that's nice to hear, and yeah, they may be able to establish the run, but the problem that you have, just like New England last night, and I think this is part of what led them into the situation that they were in. If you let Tom Brady get up on you early, and he gets up by 2 scores.
Oh yeah.
How much can you run the ball then? You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh no, 100%. No, you're 100% correct. And that was the biggest question mark going into the postseason with Mac Jones. Is if that running game gets shut down, can Mac Jones win you a game? And as we saw, no, he cannot. Now, we're not saying that's going to be his legacy. We're not saying that's something that he's going to have over his head the next 2 to 3 years, whatever it is. But for Mac Jones to get better as a quarterback, that's something that he's going to have to get better at, as in the coaches trusting you to give you the game to say you can go and run it now. It took Tom Brady at least 6 to 7 years before they was able to trust him enough to go doing what he was able to do with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
When it comes to the rookies nowadays, rookie sensations, the sophomores, all these younger quarterbacks, everybody wants to push certain quarterbacks into the front and say, this is the next guy. This is the next guy. Can we still develop these guys first? Look at Josh Allen. I remember his sophomore slump. People were like, "Oh, this guy's a bum. He's a bum." And look at him now. So, we don't give because of the microwave society we live in. We don't give these guys at all any time to grow and to get better. And it's very unfortunate because to be able to see the development and the greatness of somebody that gets better year and after that, they have to go through the good and the bad. You have to. Nobody's going, even Tom Brady. Tom Brady hasn't gone through just nothing but good things. Speaking of the Eagles, of course, they lost a couple years ago in the Super Bowl to Philly Special and the Eagles. So it's okay to have adverse things happen to you because that's what makes you better, not just as an athlete, but as a person as well. All right, let's get to these game picks. You already know what we're picking. You already know who we're picking. Not really a big surprise. And before I end it off with this topic, I would just want to say as well, Ish, my biggest concern really for the Eagles is that you are 0-6 against playoff teams.
How did we forget to mention that earlier?
Trust me, I was saving that. I was saving that. So
0-6 this year against playoff teams.
Again, if you're an Eagles fan, I expect you to root for your team. I expect you to feel like you're going to win this game. That's what you're supposed to do as a fan. Realistically, as a logical person that had no skin in the game on this one, going with the Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the 49ers and Cowboys game. Ish, this game, again, if everything goes right, probably most likely will be the best game of the weekend. It could be, it should be, and I hope it is if all of the stars show up on both sides of the ball, on both teams. This could maybe go down as another classic game for the 49ers and Cowboys for that rivalry. And at the moment, Ish, I've been going back and forth in this game since last week. I really don't know who to pick. I still don't know who to pick. And this game it can go either way, and I just need to hear your thoughts on this game as well, too.
Well, I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I know if you've been paying attention to the show, if you watched the season preview show way at the beginning of the season, I had the 49ers going to the Super Bowl. Yep. I believed in this team. I believed in Kyle Shanahan. I thought they would have a bounce back year after all the injuries last year. And I mean, it's kind of been up and down for them, but they were able to get into the playoffs. They had a very good win against the Rams, another playoff team that we'll see on Monday night to close out the season and get into the playoffs. So I know what this team is. This team is definitely grind it out, find a way to win. They're going to come with the right mentality kind of team. The Cowboys, we know who they are. They've got the weapons. They've got the defensive player of the year on the defensive side. They're able to fly around, make plays there. They got Diggs, who leads the league in interceptions. I mean, they've got all the pieces. The Cowboys, it's always going to come down to what is their mindset going into these games. Are they going to buy into this hype that normally comes with being America's team and all these Cowboys fans saying this is the year, this is the year? Are you going to buy into that, or are you going to head down, focus, and go out there and do what you're supposed to do? That's the big question for the Cowboys in this game. And to me, I'm just gonna have to say I'm picking both teams. I'm gonna pick both teams because I
Here he
can't pick
goes. Here he
between my two
goes.
teams. All right. I know I've been saying it since about week 5 or 6, Cowboys to the Super Bowl. I'm
Yeah.
still kind of Cowboys to the Super Bowl,
Okay.
but I think the 49ers can also win. I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers win because they're just built to win like that. Remember, this team is only 2 years removed from the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I think that the 49ers could also win. So, if the 49ers win, then, I'm just going to change the Cowboys to the Super Bowl to the 49ers to the Super Bowl, and it will be all good and squared away. So,
Oh,
since I'm going to
Lord.
do that, I'm just going to pick both the teams. Unfortunately for X today, I'm not going to lose. I'm just going to pick both the 49ers and the Cowboys.
Horse shit. No, Ish gonna make a pick, and he made his pick, so I don't get what he talked about. He made his pick, and we'll get to that very shortly. Christine on the comments says this game should be the Sunday Night Football game instead of this Chiefs and Steelers joke. I will say this though, and we'll get, of course, to that game very shortly. I think the Chiefs and Steelers game is going to be a very closer. I mean, a lot closer and very more important and an interesting game than the people think that it's going to be. But we'll get to that game very shortly. But with this game, we talked about the stars. We talked about the people that are playing on the field. But another thing that everybody is going to have to be paying attention to is the chess match between the coordinators from Dan Quinn on the Cowboys side and Kyle Shanahan. Let's remind people they also were coaching together with the Atlanta Falcons just about 4 years ago when, of course, they lost unfortunately the Super Bowl against the Patriots, right? So these guys know each other. It's not like it's a surprise. I want to say it's even much as a divisional game. It's not like it's a divisional game where, we can add in wrinkles here. No, I think everything is on the table for both teams. For offense and defensive wise, you can set up whatever you want to set up. It's on the other team to stop it or, to execute pretty much whatever plays that you have to do. My thing for the 49ers, I need to see the offensive matchups against the defense. I need to see where Debo is going to be lined up. Receiver, running back, close in the slot. I need to see what's going on with George Kittle. I need to see on defense who's going to be holding to who. Where's Micah Parsons going to be at? Diggs, are you going to travel with Debo? Are you going to stay on the right side? Also, as well too, which Diggs are we going to get? We're going to get 11 interception Diggs, or are we going to get 1,000 yards in coverage Diggs? This matchup is very, very interesting because we know how the Cowboys are just within the last 15 years, right? And it's just going to be another letdown of a season if you lose at home at Jerry World, and it's going to be unfortunate and disappointing for the fans because you've had such a great regular season. People could say, oh, they played against the NFC least, and that's why they were able to get some of those stats and this, that, and the third. But overall, as a team, they played really, really well. Of course, ending the season with a 50 burger against the Eagles. No shot to the Eagles. I'm just letting folks know what happened. Can that momentum still carry over in the postseason? Because if the Cowboys lose, the first fan base is going to laugh at them will be the Eagles. So we have to, of course, wait and see what happens in this game. But let's throw out the picks. Like Ish said, he's not going on both teams. He's picking the Cowboys.
No, I'm picking both teams.
No, he is not.
Man.
No, he is not. Do not listen to this man, okay? Do not listen to this man. He picked the Cowboys, and I'm going with the 49ers. I honestly want to go with the Cowboys. I really do. I really, really, really do. My thing is, can Dak get the monkey off of his back? We do not know yet, so we will see very, very soon in about 6.5 hours-ish what's going to happen with Dak and company. The Cowboys' record over the 49ers in the postseason is 5-2, but again, that was in the past. This is right now. And like the reason why I also picked the Raiders in the earlier game is the same reason why I'm picking the 49ers is because they've been in games like this where I trust them enough to grind it out and find a way to win.
They had a playoff game last week.
And the Cowboys, they've been in a couple of games where they were close against the Patriots early in the season and, a couple games here and there. But most games for the Cowboys, they've been blowing teams out. They've been taking care of business, and they haven't really been in adverse situations to where I can say, oh, that Cowboys team is built to go to the playoffs. I think the 49ers are built a little bit stronger than the Cowboys, and when it comes to grinding it out, that's all.
One thing that I will say and that I'm interested to see if you look at the loss that they have this year, they lost to the Buccaneers, they lost to the Broncos, they lost to the Chiefs, the Raiders, and they lost to the Cardinals. One of the things that I do see from this defense that makes me a little concerned is, like you said, the matchups are key. And this is why I said before, a couple weeks ago, we talked about it. You don't want to play the 49ers. The reason being is, while George Kittle hasn't had a stellar season, he's still a threat. So do you put Micah Parsons on him, or do you allow Micah Parsons to rush the quarterback? That's a dilemma that you're going to have to face.
Yeah.
Is Diggs traveling with Deebo Samuel, or is Diggs staying on one side? The problem with him traveling with Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk is not he's
not a bum. Oh, he's not a bum. Oh yeah, I agree.
Like with Deebo Samuel out,
you try to stop Deebo, somebody else gonna eat too.
So
I agree.
I mean, what do you do there? How do you manage that situation there? The matchups are going to be the key for this Cowboys defense. And what I see from the losses they have this season, when you face teams that have weapons and are able to attack you in multiple ways, you tend to struggle and you allow too many points. That is where, for me, I'm thinking it might just not work out for them. And that's why I'm picking.
Somebody kind of backpedaling there, looking like a real DB over there.
How am I backpedaling? I was picking both teams.
I got that. I understand that, but you've been on since week 5, like you said, Cowboys to the Super Bowl, and now you over here like, I don't. It could be.
I mean, no, I'm just showing respect to the 49ers.
I got you. You don't want to
play the 49ers. I'm respecting them.
I got you. Let me get to this comment. Let me get this comment that Christine said. She says, I think most of the Cowboys' close games they lost. Yep. Yes, you are correct on that. Let's remember back in the beginning of the season, they kicked off the NFL season against the Buccaneers, lost by 2 on that one.
10 to the Chiefs.
10 to the Chiefs.
3 to the Raiders
and
overtime.
And I was going to get to that as well, too. I mean, you lost to the Raiders. You lost to the Chiefs. Some of these playoff teams that you lost to, that's a concern, too, as well, too. And not just the Eagles. It's y'all, too. Cowboys lost to the Cardinals just a couple weeks ago. So, for me, I take those games way more seriously, way more important than you beating the Washington football team or you beating the Eagles last week or any of that crap. A win is a win. Yes, it is. But some wins are more important than others.
Bro, stop being a Cowboy hater, man.
Oh, here we go.
Cowboy hater.
I love it. Apparently, I'm a hater of every team. Apparently, if I don't pick them, I got cussed out for not picking the Saints a couple weeks ago in our pick'ems. Yeah. People hit me up in Instagram talking about "fuck you, X, for picking another team." I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I'll pick y'all next week.
Teams, man. You need to change your ways.
I love football so much. Alrighty then. With that being said, as you can see, our picks are what they are, and hopefully it should be a good game. Let's get to the Sunday Night Football game, Steelers versus the Chiefs. I'm sorry, I didn't do it right, Ish. My bad. The Chiefs. There we go. All right. I had to do it with a hamburger in my mouth like my boy Andy Reid.
Yeah, hey. We gonna get a year's worth of Whataburger once they win it all.
Oh, the Whataburger is coming soon.
If he can pull it off, they open that Whataburger down there in Kansas City.
Now, I will say this, Ish, before we get into this game, I need you. This is your team, so I'm gonna sit back because the Titans we number 1 seed, so we don't buy this week. So we just watching y'all play. So I'm gonna sit back. No, it ain't no here we go. It's the facts. It's the facts. So I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna let you talk about your Chiefs and what do we need to look out for in this game, Ish?
What you got to look out for in this game? Obviously, you got Kelsey and you got Hill. We all know about them. The key to the game for the Chiefs is going to be that run game and the defense. How does Sorensen play? Because obviously the defense lives and dies by Sorensen, which this isn't a really good matchup for Sorensen, especially with Juju coming back. We'll have to wait and see. But really, it's going to be that run game. What are they able to do as far as running the ball? Because we all know that the Chiefs are able to throw the ball. They got Patrick Mahomes. He's been playing really well on the back half of the season. And, yeah, they beat the Steelers 36-10 in Week 16. But to me, that was a different game. That was a different time. Now you got to do it. You got to show up. And the key to that game was you did at least rush for 127 yards. You rushed for 127 yards, which was able to open up Patrick Mahomes to throw for 258. So that's the key. You got to run the ball on offense. And then on defense, you've got to stop the run. You got to be able to stop the run. The thing about the Steelers, and we talk about it all the time. We talk about it with your Titans. We talk about it with the Browns when
they going to run the ball.
Year. A team that can come in the playoff and just run the ball, you hurt yourself significantly, especially when you got an offense with Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill. If you allow this team to control the clock and run the ball, and the Steelers, that's their MO. They are going to run the ball on you, play action, and get the ball to these wide receivers, kind of short routes, just eat up the yards and eat up the time. That's what the Steelers are wanting to do. If you can create turnovers like you did when you played them earlier, you got 3 turnovers against them, you're good. But if they allow the Steelers to run the clock, run the ball, this could be a lot closer than a lot of people think. I am actually in the mindset of saying I was close. I was really close. And it may be a shocker to some. I was really close to picking the Steelers because I thought, to me, I think it's a trap game. I think it's set up perfectly. The matchup isn't the best matchup in the world. The Chiefs have been playing well, but sometimes matchups is key. And this matchup against a team that runs the ball really well is not the kind of matchup you want to see for the Chiefs early in the playoffs. So I was close to picking the Steelers, but I'm going to ride with the Chiefs. I believe that they have the right mentality. They know what's at hand. They want to make it back to the Super Bowl again. And overall, that magic that Patrick Mahomes is able to find, even if it's a close game late, I think he'll find it and they'll be able to win this game, but it'll be closer than people think.
Everything you said is 100% correct, Ish. That's why I had to let you go. Say what you need to say. Do your spill on your team because you're correct. At the end of the day, it comes down to these teams showing up. I mean, we know the Chiefs going to show up, and we know the Steelers are going to show up because that's just who the Steelers are. The question is who's going to make the least amount of mistakes, who's going to play sound football, and who might have the ball in the last drive of the game. It could come down to that too. It's gonna be very interesting because both of these Ben Roethlisberger is going to Hall of Fame. This is not Charlie Batch or anybody else for the Steelers where they just we don't have a chance because of our quarterback. No, Big Ben is on his last leg. We all know that, but it's just something about just the core still with Big Ben and Mike Tomlin. It's not the same Steelers that it was 15 years ago, but they still have a fighter's chance, mainly because of the running game. And before I get to that, let's also remind everybody they did play against each other in Week 16, and the Chiefs did beat the smack out of them 36-10. So that is something that the Steelers have reminded the team. I think that's something that Big Ben addressed through the media to let everybody know we ain't got no chance. We're 12 and a half point underdogs at the moment. You know what? Nobody expects the Steelers to go in and beat the Chiefs. We're just lucky enough to be there. We just want to go out and just go have fun with our teammates. This is the NFL. Okay, the only time we have fun is when we win the games. Okay, so that's what he's talking about. The only way you're gonna have fun is we go out there and go beat the Chiefs.
He's setting it up. Man. He's setting it up. They got that mentality in that locker room.
The biggest thing is looking at Najee Harris. Najee Harris has 307 carries on the season with 1,200 yards and seven touchdowns. He is the factor. If he can get over 120 yards rushing, the Steelers can win this game. They have to establish a run. If they can establish a run, everything else will open up for the Steelers, and it can pull off this upset. But for the moment, I have to rock with the Chiefs just because I don't see them having enough to win this game. I think they're going with a great game plan. I think it's a lot closer than people think, within 4 points. But the Chiefs overall just better, more talent, and they should win this game. Ish?
Yeah, I agree. Chiefs should win this game. They're going to find the magic, I think, at the end of the day. It'll be a feel-good story for Big Ben. You made it to the playoffs, yada, yada. Just career coming to an end. But ultimately, I just expect this Chiefs team to handle their business so that they can go on and play the Bills next week, which that'll be another doozy of a matchup.
Yes, it shall. Yes, it shall be. Let's get to the comment section right quick from our boy Lee. He says this is going to be the definition of a famous bend don't break. Chiefs defense, Najee can go for 100, but if the Chiefs can hold them to field goals, they will be happy.
Most definitely.
I got you, Lee, but again, I said 120. If they get over 120, hey, ain't worried about no field goal. They're scoring tuggies. All right, so we're
gonna have to wait and see.
We have to wait and see.
Dirty
Don't
Dan
worry.
is gonna be the big guy. I mean, you might need to sit him down.
Wait and see shirts coming out very soon. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. All right, let's get to the first ever Monday Night Wildcard Weekend game. It will be on, of course, all of the major channels, ESPN, ABC, all that good stuff for the third matchup of the Cardinals and the Rams. Of course, we all know this is a divisional matchup, so honestly, anything can go on this one. But the biggest factor for me is the Rams have won the last 9 out of the 10 games against the Cardinals. That is just an ugly trend type of stat to have playing this game, especially with the Cardinals going into LA. It'd be different if they were hosting the game, but maybe it wouldn't be different because we all do know about their home record. My concern
8-1 on the road. 8-1 on the road.
You're correct. You're correct. My concern with the Cardinals is no DeAndre Hopkins. If you have DeAndre Hopkins, I would definitely say this game is easy. At the moment, it still is a toss-up. But if you had DeAndre Hopkins, I might have given the edge to the Cardinals just a tad. Now, the build-up for this game is on both sides when it comes to who's the pressure on more, Cliff Kingsbury as a coach and maybe even Kyler Murray or Matt Stafford. 99% of people will say Matt Stafford, and legitimately, yes, true. You have to say it is on Matt Stafford. But we're not going to let up on Cliff. Cliff, towards the end of this season, you've been falling off a cliff a little bit with this team. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the Cardinals and if they decide to renew Cliff and keep him as a coach, which I think it's kind of hard to let him go and bring in somebody else. We'll see what happens with Arizona in the offseason. But with the Rams, this is do or die. This is put up or shut up. This is why you went all in for years and years on now for the past 4 or 5 years that Sean McVay's been there. And it was the reason why you went out and got Stafford. The reason why you in the midseason went out and got OBJ and also Von Miller. I personally think that the Rams show up tonight. And that the Rams, tomorrow night, yeah. that the Rams show up and that they are going to put on a performance that are going to show everybody that, hey, we are here. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think the Rams actually win by about 10. I think the Rams win by 10. And that's only because of the lack of weapons that the Cardinals do have. J.J. Watt apparently is trending upwards to where he might be able to, if not play, then at least be on the sideline as some emotional support for the Cardinals, defense-wise, and also just for the team. But overall, for me, I got to go with the Rams. Ish, let me hear what you got to say about the Cards.
Yeah. I love everything you said. I love it all. But let me just say this. Cliff Kingsbury, the pressure's on him. I said it a couple weeks ago, depending on the way that the season ended, he could potentially lose his job. And they haven't looked very good the back half of the season. They've kind of fallen off. They lost the number 1 seed. They lost the division. A lot of things just went wrong on the back half of the season for him. So the pressure's on him because I do think that it's possible if they lose this game, he could be fired. But while I say all that, the pressure is more on Los Angeles than it is on Cliff. The pressure is all on the Rams. I mean, you went out earlier in the season, you traded all your picks that you wanted to trade to go get Matt Stafford to be the guy because y'all wanted to scapegoat Jared Goff and say he just wasn't that guy to lead us to the promised land. But you thought Matt Stafford was, right? All right. Then you win in the middle of the season. You got Von Miller. You're throwing all your chips in the basket. You said this is the year we're going to bring Von Miller in here. We're going to pair him with Aaron Donald. We're going to wreak havoc on all of these offensive lines, and we're going to win it. We're going to carry it all the way to the Super Bowl. So he's supposed to pair up and help you do that. You even had Sony Michel start to show up in the backfield and start running the ball.
It was about time, too, because I have him on my fantasy.
I mean, let's just talk about it. The pressure is all on the Rams because
Oh, yeah.
you have set yourself up in this situation where your back is
Let's
against the wall. It's
let's
Super Bowl or
also
bust, baby.
let's also not remind let's also remind the people that Sean McVay, when they played against the 49ers last week, when he went to run all the way down to the end zone to pat one of his players for scoring a touchdown. Sean McVay. On a serious note, though, Sean McVay might be the reason why the Rams are being held back from time to time, just because of his youth.
Hey,
Sean McVay, seriously, sit your ass down somewhere, coach the game the way you need to coach it, and let the players do it. Nobody needs your ass running all the way down to the end zone to high five and also run into a referee, which should have been a 15-yard penalty. Really should have been 50-yard penalty, but we're gonna leave that alone. That was in the past. But Sean McVay, don't be the reason why the Rams lose this game.
Well,
Because I think Matt Stafford shows up. Honestly. Yep. Call me crazy. I've been crazy all weekend, okay? I've been crazy all weekend. You can call me crazy again. I don't care.
it might be a classic Matt Stafford game. Let me just say this. The Rams defense are 22nd against the pass. All right. We know that the air raid that Cliff Kingsbury has, they're going to come ready to throw the ball all around. Kyler Murray is going to be trying to sling that thing all night long. And then if the pocket collapse, expect him to break out and like the bad Tyler he is, shimmy and shake and do all these things to get away from Aaron Donald and Von Miller. I just think, again, with the pressure being on the Rams, 8-1 on the road for Arizona this whole year. They're facing the defense while they got Jalen Ramsey, and he does what he needs to do. The rest of that secondary,
He can't do it all.
Yeah, he can't do it all.
You are correct. And let's remind everybody, both starting safeties for the Rams are out as well too. Their safety position had to go get Weddle. You had to go get Weddle off the couch. Off the couch and not week 6, not week 7, not Adrian Peterson for the Titans stuff. The playoffs, you getting air. Okay, that's how I know the Rams are in trouble. I saw that like the Rams are in trouble, bro.
Hey, it is all set up for the Cardinals to win this game, and it's important that they win this game because Cliff does have pressure on him. While it's not as much as the Rams, he has pressure on him. He knows what he needs to do. I'm sure that he's locked in. He's ready to go. Kyler Murray, I know that he wants to do this. And don't forget, depending on how far they go, there is a possibility that DeAndre Hopkins could return.
Yeah, could come back.
So, with that being said, and that promise there, it gives you a little extra incentive to try to pull this game out, which you can. You split the series this year, like you said. They're 1-9 in the last 10 games against the Rams, but they didn't win one game this season. This season was the one time they won that game, so they can do it. They've done it before this season. I expect them to do it again, and I expect the Cardinals to win this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think that they're going to win it. They're going to win this game pretty decent, handily, not 2 scores, but somewhere around like maybe 10 points. I think maybe 10 points. They'll
seven
win
to 10. 7 to 10 times.
Yeah, somewhere 7 to 10 range. I think they'll win the game, and we'll be talking about what happened with the Rams, and maybe there'll be some pressure on Sean McVay.
At the moment in Vegas, the Rams are a 3.5-point favorite. Over under is 49.5. So, the Rams are favored, but again, it don't matter what Vegas says. It matter what we do on the football field, and that's all that matters. That too. X talking this, that's all that matters. So, just to finish off on this game, I hope we get everything that we expect out of both of these teams on a Monday night. Playoff game. This, that, and third. Like I hope we were able to get a decent game instead of that we saw with the Bills and the Patriots. But that's here nor there. Of course, make sure everybody come back on Tuesday to come and check us out to recap the playoff games that we do have. And hey, I mean, the season is over, but we have a new season. It's called the postseason. And some people might think this is a better season than the regular season. Hey, to be honest with you, I think both seasons have been excellent so far this year. And I can't wait to see what the remaining of the postseason have for us. And we'll see who will be in LA for Super Bowl 54, right? So it'd be it'd be interesting. So other than that, I'm sorry, Super Bowl 56, I should say. My bad. Yeah, I'm down for a couple.
Yeah, come on.
But anyways,
man.
I'm drunk. My bad. Early in the morning. I've been sipping on mimosas. I'm kidding. No, but on a serious note, though, We appreciate everybody for joining in as always. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to our pregame show, and we will see y'all on Tuesday for the postgame show here on X Talking Ish. Hope you have a great rest of the day and enjoy y'all's football.